If I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your revolution. Emma Goldman said that. She was a 19th century anarchist, feminist, liberated woman. She's one of my heroes. Another hero of mine is my friend Sonia. She used to say, as long as I can dance, I'll be fine. Dancing was an integral part of our friendship. We met in 1972 when we both answered a casting call for a Greek theater director who had just come to Chicago and wanted to put on plays for the Greek community. From then on, we spent every Saturday during the day with about 10 other people rehearsing our plays, who usually were comedies. And then in the evenings, we would go out to eat, drink, and of course, dance. And when I say dance, I mean Greek folk dancing. It was on those early years when we perfected our steps. There is a dance among the many Greek dances that's rather difficult. It's called hasapiko. And it has a variety of steps, and you can pick and choose which ones you want to do. So Sonia and I practiced many days, and we finally decided which steps we wanted to do, and we would dance. She was always at the front of the line. As you know, Greek dancing is in a line and sometimes becomes a circle. I was always following her, and it was fine if it was just the two of us, which is possible and very nice to look at. But oftentimes people would get up and want to come dance with us, and they would join us, and I would be the one that had to hold their hands. And if they didn't know what we were doing, if they didn't have the practice that we did, which step, when, what, it was kind of messy. And I just sort of had to hold on to them and try to make sure they didn't like fall over or went the other way when we were going one way. In the summers, we go to the Greek church picnics. I'm sure some of you have been to them. They're very famous in Chicago. We would go and, of course, eat and dance. And I remember one year, we went to the St. Andrew's Church on Sheridan Road, which was one of our favorites. And so we get there together, and we go and find our friends, and we sit around and chat, have something to eat, and pretty soon Sonia gets up and says, okay, now we have to go show ourselves to the men. And she ran to the dance floor. And I have to follow, of course, because I was her sidekick. One evening in the winter of 1995, Sonia called to tell me that the doctor had found a tumor in her right breast. That was the beginning. What is life? What is death? How do we deal with the twins, loss and grief? Sometimes in the 1970s, we started this tradition of sharing Christmas Eve gathering. So we would get together and invite anybody who didn't have anywhere to go. Because we were only children. It was just the two of us, and so we felt a lot of empathy for people who didn't have anybody else. So we would invite people we met along the year to come to the Christmas Eve party, and they were always at her apartment. Sometimes there were 20, 30 people, and sometimes there were just 5 or 6. Every year was different. She would cook her famous turkey and her mulled wine, which I would serve as soon as people came in. The year 2004, we decided was the 30th anniversary of these Christmas Eves. And so we decided to have a photo exhibit. And I was in charge of that, because I was always taking photos and keeping them. So we put all the photos all over the walls in her apartment. And the pictures were amazing. I was also in charge of distributing the presents. We would buy small knickknacks for everybody so no one felt left out. And I was Santa every year, distribute the little presents after we ate. For 40 years, we shared dresses and earrings, apartments, joys and sorrows, even a therapist. The quotidian and the extraordinary. Our relationship with our communist fathers branded us red diaper babies. The first time we heard that, we laughed. We never heard that before. We thought, oh, that's interesting. So after that, we really took it on, and we were proud to tell people that we were red diaper babies. We looked alike, and people often thought we were sisters. In June of 2006, 12 of us traveled to Greece to celebrate her 60th birthday. It was her idea, and she organized everything to the last detail. From the time we get to Athens, what we did in Athens, she had vans ready, and we went to her village, which was our destination. She was from a very, very tiny village in the south of Greece. And the night of her birthday, we went to this restaurant that she had arranged for dinner. And there were probably 20 people at that point, including her family. And we ate and drank. And then everyone got up and said how they had met Sonia and what she had meant to each of us. After a while, we, of course, got up and went on to the dance floor. Sonia always at the head, and we following her in a circle, dancing and leading us. Once again, she was our leader. By the time we returned to the hotel, we were exhausted, very excited, and the sun was rising. She used to say to me, oh, don't worry, we're going to grow old together. You see, we'll still be going to dancing and going to the bars. We'll have our little canes and hold on to each other, and we'll keep doing this forever. And I never doubted that. As she said the last time that I talked to her, as long as I can dance, I'll be fine. Thank you.